This is Rock Leach with SocialFire. Now, we know that Bishop Wooden is always someone who speaks his mind, but he's been going viral lately and receiving a lot of criticism because of what they believe that he's policing women's pulpit church clothes, you know, saying what they can wear and what they can't wear. And a lot of people have a problem with this. Well, you know, I want to show you a video. I'm going to react to his video, but I'm going to show you another video where there is a woman minister, and this video is outrageous, but it's something that's going on in church now that we really need to be paying attention to when it comes to this church dress code. You don't want to miss this video.
SocialFire, we don't play. Rock Leach bringing the heat all day. Faith on fire, no mask, no leash. Fire in his voice, yeah, rock.
He the voice for the ones that the church forgot. He bring truth to the light, whether liked or not.
Now, Bishop Wooden was talking, and, you know, I'm going to go ahead and get into the video, but he was, you know, just looks like he was establishing different leadership at his church based on what I saw in the video. It looks like he was establishing different leadership, but he put some specific leadership in place specifically for dress code. Now, I'm going to give you my final thoughts here at the end, but I mean, this is something that we've got to talk about, and many pastors watching, you may want to pay attention for this, to this as to what you may need to do in your own church. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Bishop, what you got for us today? Let's go.
Picture on 105.
Let me back up.
Well, cameras are everywhere. I don't want nobody got my picture on 105. Bishop Wooden was eyeballing somebody. No. Look right. I am appointing them to two very important positions.
Now, I want to give a shout out to joy105.com. This video comes from them and what they wrote down here. But what comes next, because he talked about it, but what comes next is no laughing matter. He publicly announced that he was appointing 2 women to a new leadership role in the church, wardrobe logistics. Now, that's not in the Bible. But it is necessary, I believe. I hadn't heard this before, but wardrobe logistics. Man, I don't even roll off the tongue that well. But do y'all believe this is something that need to be in churches? I want to know. And wardrobe logistics, their responsibility to inspect and approve what women and children wear before they step onto the pulpit. Now, I've already done a video on modesty and what you should wear and the importance of the stage, but let's continue with the video.
Now, Sister Murden is the choir president, and I'm going to leave her in that position, but I am appointing, as of today, Evangelist Keisha White and Sister Trinity Owens over wardrobe logistics.
Now, I noticed, I don't know if y'all noticed, but he appointed 2 people to this wardrobe logistics. Because I'm just saying, folk get offended when they think they got it right and they don't. I don't know if that's why he appointed 2, but I'm thinking, I don't even see these women, but I'm hoping they're some strong women.
Sister Trinity will be making sure that when the youth praise team sings, the wardrobe, and for the most part it is like it should be. And Sister Keisha, Evangelist White, will do the same thing with the... Okay,
that's Evangelist White right there, praying for her, because that's going to be a challenging position. And you know, he's saying to young people, but you know, he's talking about anybody to get on that stage. You know, he's just saying to young people. I believe he's just saying to young people, but he's talking about anybody to get on that stage.
With the adults. See, there's a certain look that you got to have. Now, y'all can say what you want to, and see, people all of a sudden act like they don't understand. But there are some styles that are not appropriate for church. And
really, Bishop, really? Are there some styles that's not appropriate for church? Are there, y'all? Because there's a little bit of everything going on in church now. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. There's a lot of things going on now. I'm just saying, Bishop. Come on, Bishop, talk.
And especially if you're up ministering. Nobody's sanctified. Now, you have mirrors, but in some ways, they don't work.
Come on, Bishop. Somebody to unplug the mirror. Who unplugged the mirror? Because the mirror ain't working.
No one up ministering who is sanctified. You shouldn't minister in stove. I call them stovepipe
What you mean?
dresses.
What you mean, Bishop? What you
Or
mean?
them kind of dresses that's designed. They know how to cut them. Where if you make a step, you know. See, I know something about fashion. You make a step.
Bishop said, I know something about fashion. I know. Go ahead.
And they tighten up. And they accent your rump.
You're right. Oh, I'm enjoying Bishop Wooden talking about this. They accent your rump. Your rump. Now that is an old school word. For those of you that don't know what the word rump means, that is talking about your backside, your gluteus maximus, your behind. Yeah, that's what it's. Come on, Bishop.
And you know, you ought not to want that. Because when you're ministering, you ain't trying to look sexy. You're trying to look sanctified.
Now, I wanted to go to that point right there because what Bishop just said was very good, very needed. You're not wanting to look sexy, but that is not something that's saw across the board, because there is an epidemic, and I'm saying it because I'm concerned about it. There's an epidemic of ministers who are wanting to look sexy on stage. Now, when I see this kind of stuff, I just feel like you don't have no word. That's when you got all this extreme going on. You know, you done been to Brazil and any other Brazil place, you know, and gotten these different things, you know, put on your body and all these surgeries and different things like that. You know, it just make me feel like you don't have any word. That's honestly what it feels like to me. That's what I think. And I'm quite sure many of you think about it. But I want to go to this video right here that I saw where this woman, the title of the video is, I'm a church minister. I'm a church minister with a BBL. That is what the video is entitled. Just warning y'all before we get started. And this woman right here, this young lady right here, is a church minister. Y'all, she's a church minister. Now, I don't think she go to Bishop Wooden Church. I'm going to go. I'm almost assured, for some reason in the spirit, I just feel like that she's not a member at Bishop Wooden's church. I don't believe that he's her pastor. But yeah, let's go. Let's see what she's talking about on this video right here. Let's go.
I'm a church minister and I have a BBL. I love my BBL. I'm not for everybody. Today, I'm linking up with my auntie and my sister. But she is not okay with me having multiple rounds of surgery. And we're actually planning on getting another one. And my auntie is not going to be happy about it. But, oh, is this the bathing suit? I thought you said it.
Okay, so I want to go back just for a moment to something that I saw. And y'all, this concerns me a lot because I see her getting baptized here. I just...
Right.
Yeah, it's okay. So it's a lot of things that are going on here because I'm just wondering. 'Cause I see two men baptizing her, but she's a minister. And y'all, this is the kind of stuff. I'm not going to play too much of that video because I just think it's so outlandish. She's had her mouth done. She's had her, of course, backside done. She's had her breast done. Says she got her breast done when she was 19. And she's a church minister. That's what she says here. On this video that's called Hooked on the Look. Now, I just believe she's got a demon. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think that there's a level of deliverance that's needed here for this woman here. Now, I'm still looking off to the video over here. I'm going to actually pull this down because it's a distraction to me. So, and what I mean by it's a distraction, I'm just so concerned with, Lord, I hope that there have been somebody who's really praying and breaking through that foolishness that she's got going on. Because this happens with a lot of people when it becomes more about your dress code, when it becomes more about, you know, your muscles, when it becomes more about your backside or your top side, she and her getting baptized, and if she already got that Brazilian thing going on, I guess that's why it's two men, because they got to push her down, because if they push one side down, the other side might. Okay, I'm gonna quit. Okay, I'm gonna quit. Now y'all know how it is. Now this is the thing. Bishop Wooden, I'm gonna go back to his video just for a moment because he says something that I want to make sure we get into, which is this sanctified look. I want to get into that. Bishop, talk to us.
Plus, you have to be willing, if you're part of the church, to submit to the discipline of the house. Now, if you want to dress like that at home, that's fine. But at church, at church, who sets the standard in the church is the pastor.
Talk, sir, talk.
And you wanna look a certain kind of way. Now, I wanted you all to hear this, so won't nobody have room to say, well, I'm confused. And I'm appointing them, and they have my backing. And I don't want no games, no funny stuff.
Now, let's not act like this is something brand new.
That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going.
Let's not act like this is something that's brand new. Dress code have been a problem in church for a long time. Now, he talked about a sanctified look. That's what he talked about. Now, I know most of us, with this sanctified look, we can even get into, I used to call them sanctified starter kits. She's sanctified starter kits, when the lady has on a long denim skirt, orthopedic shoes, and a tambourine in her purse. Y'all seen that, or always carrying anointed oil in the glove box, or she smelled like peppermint and prayer. She smelled like peppermint and prayer. Or her eyebrows are untouched, been untouched since 1998, saying that God made them, so she won't pluck them. Or the one that's saying God bless you even when they mad. Those are things we used to say that, makes you, that's the sanctified starter kit, if you would. But biblical sanctification is more about being set apart and walking in holiness. So people who are, as they change on the inside, they change on the outside. And that's okay for people out in the pews, right? But there needs to be a difference when you hit that stage. If you're going to be on the stage and a person who operates on that stage, you never want your wardrobe to become a distraction to God using you. You never want that to get in the way of your message, your method of dress to get in the way of your message from God. And that goes with singing, musicians, singers, preachers, pastors, elders. That's just my opinion. For it, you have to respect it when you get on that stage. And that's what I've taught everywhere. You never want to be a distraction. However, when I showed you the video, the first video with this woman who has a BBL and is a church minister, y'all, this is the kind of foolishness that's going on out here. She is willingly and steadily, I didn't play all the video, but she's steadily getting more surgeries and more surgeries. I think she's got a spirit that's got a hold of her. That's what's really going on there. And I'm just being honest with you. That's really what's going on there. But I want to know what you ultimately think about this. Meet me in the comments. Let's talk about this, because pastors, give me your true thoughts. Now, I know I said a few things here that may be humorous, but I do want to talk on this conversation because some things in dress code are out of order. Now, I know some churches have a problem with this because you put people in charge of this thing and they weaponize everything. I don't think you should go through the audience. Folk gonna be dressed, as long as they ain't coming in there naked, they're gonna kind of almost come in there whatever they got on. But I also know that if you meet them incorrectly, people, if that's all they got, that's all they got. I don't think that we should make them feel terrible in the pews. Now on that stage, you're supposed to know better. You're supposed to know better. There should be a difference. If you're on the stage, and one of the ways we know you're anyway, because I can go so far with this, but for the pews, and I want to say that because sometimes people are getting the pews trying to tell folk who just got there, that's inappropriate, that's inappropriate, that's inappropriate. If somebody has, because women can get a little salty with this right here. And, usually at church with this, I just have, wise women who help in this regard. Because if a pastor gets up and say, ma'am, that right there is inappropriate, folk can almost try to make the pastor the demon. Well, what he looking at her for? That old foolishness or whatever. So you have to use wisdom. Although this seems to be an easy subject, it's a subject that can cause a rift in the church if not taken care of appropriately and with wisdom and discernment. And so I want to know ultimately, what do you think about it? Get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Pastors, talk to me. I want to hear what your thoughts are. What do you all believe with Bishop Wooden? Did he do this correctly? Was this done right? Talk to me about the sanctified look. I want you to talk about the sanctified look, because there's so much we could look at with sanctification, or because all it is about being set apart. But That's not just with your dress. You got to speak. Colossians 4 and 6 says you got to speak with love, grace, and boldness. That's in Colossians 4 and 6. James 1 and 26, sanctification. You got to avoid gossip and slander. You got to be sanctified in your talk. Sanctified in your walk. Philippians 4 and 7 talks about carry peace even in chaos. That being set apart. John 4 and 24 talks about worship sincerely, not performatively. I mean, all of these things right here. 1 Peter 1, 15 through 16 talks about live with integrity behind closed doors. And so, there are a lot of things that we can look at, and even going into the 1 Timothy, I know that's where many of y'all will go, 1 Timothy 2, 9 through 10, talking about likewise also that women should adorn themselves in respectable apparel with modesty and self-control, not with braided hair, gold or pearls. It talks about all those things that I know many people will go there because that verse basically reminds us that dressing for church isn't about showing off wealth or trends. It's about wearing what reflects a heart submitted to God. That's when we look at dress, you can kind of tell that's what's going to give you. It's going to reflect a heart submitted to God. Modesty and self-control should be guiding principles. They should be guiding principles for how we present ourselves in worship. That's the main thing. I know some people are going to go to 1 Peter 3 through 4. They'll go there. And there are a lot of places to go. James 2, 1 through 4. There are a lot of places to go, but I want to know ultimately what your thoughts are. Meet me in the comments and let's talk about it. Let's go.
SocialFire, we don't play. Rock leech, bring in the heat all day. Faith on fire, no mask, no leash. Fire in his voice, yeah, I rock.
He the voice for the ones that the church forgot. He bring truth to the light, whether liked or not.